When it comes to selling a home, homeowners often have several questions and concerns that need to be answered in order to make sure that they understand the whole process. So, on today's video here, I've decided to take some of the questions that I receive from home sellers and put them into this video so that you have the answer to some of these questions. Now, a lot of these questions are going to be the answer to them is going to be contingent upon your particular needs, but I'm going to try to narrow it down to those that I can really get specific on so that it alleviates your concern. So sit tight, and here is a Q&A for home sellers. So the first question I have comes comes to me about pricing. And the question from this seller was, should I set the price higher to leave more room for negotiations? So when I'm preparing for a listing consultation with a home seller who is thinking about selling a home, I always run what is called a comparative market analysis. And basically, what I'm doing in the comparative market analysis is I'm comparing their home with their bedrooms, their bathrooms, their square footage, their amenities such as garage, basement, whatever, comparing all of that to other homes that have sold in their area that have those same amenities or similar amenities. And then giving a little bit of an adjustment based on the updates in the seller's home versus the home that was previously sold or that is active on the market in the comparative market analysis. So the answer to the question is actually complicated because it really will depend upon the particular situation that this homeowner is facing. I never tell a home seller to shoot high in the beginning, unless that is what they're actually needing in order to make something else work, or unless I feel that that is exactly where it needs to be. Typically, my home seller clients that I've worked with are satisfied with the number that I present, and they usually accept that number as what they will be able to sell the home for. So the answer to should I set the price higher to leave room for negotiations? The answer is likely no. Setting the price of your home at market value will get you the most home buyers through the home through home showings, and then staying competitive in price with other homes in the area is the key to making sure that your home gets sold for top dollar in the right form. So the next question that I got was about market conditions. And the first one's easy. Is it a good time to sell? So I will use the same answer that Dave Ramsey, a multi-hundred millionaire, uses. If you want to sell your home today because you have a lot of equity, because you have whatever, if you have life circumstances that require you to sell your home, sell your home. Mortgage interest rates are not going to affect or haven't seemed to affected very much anyway the sale of your home. Market conditions around the world are not affecting the sale of your home in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you need to sell your home, it is, of course, a good time to sell your home. And since we are in a seller's market, which means less than 6 months of housing inventory, since we're less than 6 months, it is a seller's market. So you have more competition for your home among home buyers. How is the current real estate market performing? Again, we're in a seller's market. Individual days on market will depend on exactly where your home is. Certain neighborhoods have um, higher days on market than others. Louisville as a whole, or Jefferson County as a whole, is sitting about 28 days, I believe, is the last I checked. So just under a month for getting your home on the market and then under contract. And what are comparable homes in my area selling for? Again, that depends on your particular area. If you have a home that you're thinking about selling and you want to know the actual value of it, just reach out to me. My information's in the description of this video. Just reach out and I will be more than happy to run the figures and get back to you on them. So the next question I got is about preparation and repairs. What do I need to do to get my home ready for sale? So when you choose to work with me as your real estate professional, I provide you with a homework. It's about 5 pages of just things that you should go through to make sure everything is perfect, is right in your home. The very first thing that home buyers see is your curb appeal. It's the front of your house. Um, if you have overgrown bushes, overgrown trees blocking your windows and stuff like that, it's going to be an instantaneous take care of that, prune that back, cut that back, because that interferes with your curb appeal. If you have amazingly beautiful flowers in the front yard, everything is looking really good, then we want to bring that same type of energy and flow into the house as well. If it's bright outside, you have a lot of color going on, then we want to come inside and see that same type of brightness. So it really does depend on your home's particular situation. The next question was, should I invest in repairs or renovations? Again, case by case basis. Um, in today's market, if there's something that needs to be repaired, your realtor should tell you. They should be telling you what will increase your value, what will give you a better chance of selling, versus if you just left it alone, let the next home buyer take care of it. If there's things such as holes in the walls, things like that, you definitely need to get fixed. But again, case by case basis on what you need to work on. Marketing and exposure. So how will my home be marketed? So when you hire a real estate professional to sell your home, this should be the biggest thing that they do. They should know marketing inside and out. So from my point of view, with homes that I list for sale, I'm running social media advertisements. I am doing virtual walkthroughs of the home, photography. I always use professionals to do my real estate photography. You will not catch me taking a picture of a home with my cell phone. That's not going to happen. I actually hire a professional real estate photographer to do all my photography for me. And so those are some of the ways I do marketing. I can't get into all of them because I don't want my competition to know all the different ways that I market. But every single realtor in our area and around the world will market your home differently. And I have a personal strategy that I use that I have found to be successful. And so if you hire me as your real estate professional, I will go over that in depth with you. What strategies will be used to attract buyers? Again, it's the marketing, social media. We do print advertising as well. I send out postcards to your neighbors whenever we list your home for sale. Just a wide variety. Again, don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want my competition to know about all the different ways as well. But again, me and you can sit down, home seller to real estate professional, and go through all that. Do I need professional photos or staging? Case by case basis. For me, when I list your property for sale, you will have professional photos of the home. I hire my own real estate photographer to go through and take pictures of your home. Staging is something different. Um, there's two thoughts that I have on it. In some ways, I find it to be counterproductive because you're basically forcing your view onto the home buyer. So what I mean by that is if you put in actual furniture into the home, then that may not be the furniture that the home buyer, potential home buyer wants to see, or the furniture that you choose may like crowd the space. So I see it from that angle. I also see that if you live in the home, we're not going to do staging. We're not going to have you remove a bunch of furniture in order to put in different furniture. But then we also have what is called virtual staging, which is where we take the photos and then send them to a company that will virtually add furniture into the picture. So again, I am iffy on staging. I think it is appropriate for certain homes. Again, case by case kind of basis. But for professional photography, for sure, you will have, if you use David Hittle with United Real Estate Louisville, you will have a real estate photographer go through your home and take professional photos. So the next questions pertain to the timeline. How long will it take to sell my home? Again, case by case basis, and every single neighborhood has a different days on market. So if I pulled up my neighborhood, the days on market are probably way high because we're in a new construction neighborhood. So those get put on the market and then they take forever to sell, just typical of new construction. But if I was to take a look at your neighborhood, I'd be able to tell you exactly what the average days on market for June were in your neighborhood. What happens if my home doesn't sell within a certain time frame? So typically, I request at least 6 months. That's what we'll put in the listing contract is at least 6 months, and this allows the home to have time to get viewed, to get saved. It gives me time to market your home for sale. If we do a shorter time frame than that, then I'm risking a lot of money up front that may not be recouped at the end if we run out of time and the contract expires. So I typically will only do 6 months or more, but it just all depends case by case basis on what happens if your home doesn't sell within a certain time frame. But I am always pushing your home for sale and try to make sure that we get it done. Costs and fees. So, what are the costs associated with selling your home? And how much will I have to pay in real estate commissions? So, real estate commissions are a hot topic today because of lawsuits and things that are going on, things that I can't talk about openly, unfortunately, because of the way the laws are and everything. But when we sit down together during the listing consultation, we talk in depth about real estate commissions. And as the seller, you have the um, the driver's seat really in what you pay in real estate commissions. And again, those types of things are changing and they will continue to change. And over the next few weeks and into the next month, we will talk more in depth on it. But the main thing to know is that real estate commissions are negotiable. No state agency or organization sets real estate commissions. They are negotiated between the listing agent and the listing agent's broker and the seller to determine what you pay. So again, all about a case by case basis. And are there any hidden fees was another question I should be aware of. There are no hidden fees allowed when it comes to real estate commissions. Now, what you do pay once your home sells are things like taxes, are things like if you have any liens on your property or any judgments on your property, those have to get paid. But all of that information will never be hidden. It all comes on the final closing cost sheet that you receive, that you sign at the closing table. So the next question is, what legal documents are required for selling a home? Now, this is a big one. I actually did multiple videos about the documents necessary for selling a home um, in Louisville, in our area. But you have things such as the listing contract. That's basically the contract between you and your realtor's broker, that determines the commission rates, determines what we can do for you, what type of advertisements we can do, giving us permission to list your property for sale, giving us permission to put a sign in your yard, put a lockbox on your door, etc. We also have what's called an input form that we have to fill out as the real estate agent, and the broker has to sign off on it. That's the form that we input all the information into the MLS, or multiple listing service. Major legal documents such as the seller's disclosure of property conditions is required by Kentucky state law, that you fill that out, that the seller fills that out to the best of their ability. Lead-based paint. If your home is older than 1978, you're required to fill out a disclosure for the possibility of lead-based paint. So there is a lot of legal documents involved in the selling of a home, that a lot of people aren't aware of, and that not filling out can lead you into legal jeopardy. There can be legal consequences for that, for not getting those forms filled out. So your realtor, if you work with me as your realtor, we make sure that you get all those filled out the way they need to be filled out. And then we have a broker that checks in on all that information as well to make sure it's accurate. How do I handle offers and counter offers? So once we have your home on the market for sale, any offers will come to me. And if we have a date or time where we're going to review those, we will gather them all and then review them on that day. Otherwise, as an offer comes in, I typically will call my seller client and just say, "Hey, we've received an offer. I have gone through it, and here's exactly what we're looking at: purchase price, the amount of good faith money that they're putting down, earnest money that they're putting down, what type of loan they're using, whether they're receiving down payment assistance or any gift funds, um, whether they're having a home inspection done, whether they need an appraisal, whether they're requesting a survey, whether they're requesting a home warranty. I basically will go through the offer and then go over it with my client. And if we have multiple offers, then we will typically sit down and look at those in person. That way we can compare and contrast. Or if the in person is not possible, I can divvy them up into a file that goes over each one of them and compares and contrasts them. Some states do not allow you to see multiple contracts or multiple offers at the same time. Kentucky is not one of those states. So either you will receive the offer as they come in, or we can compare and contrast all the offers together, and we can choose together the best offer that's fit for you. And then what disclosures am I required to make? That's an important question for your seller's disclosure of property conditions. One of the things that you're required to fill out as a home seller here in Kentucky and here in Louisville. And there are things that you are required to disclose, and those things are written out in the disclosure form. But then there are also other things that you may think you need to disclose that you don't. So basically, the best thing to do is if you have a question about what you have to disclose and what you don't, ask your real estate agent at the time of doing the seller's disclosure, and they'll let you know. Negotiations, again, how do you handle multiple offers? Receiving multiple offers is a great thing for home sellers. Not occurring as much, at least for my home sellers, it's not occurring as much as it was a couple years ago. Of course, in the height of the pandemic, um, home sellers were receiving multiple offers, some receiving 5, 10, 15, 20 offers. But when we receive that many offers, again, as I said a little bit ago, we either sit down and look at them all together, or we just go over each one of them one by one. What should I be prepared to negotiate on? Well, the main thing will be price. Price is not always everything. If you can get the price you want with little to no contingencies or little to no wiggle room, that's always best for you. Cash offers are usually king because a cash offer doesn't require an appraisal. Sometimes they won't ask for home inspections. So those are the best ones to receive. But it's not always the case. So having your realtor look at all the offers with you and instructing you and teaching you what's the best offers and what are the not as good offers is always the best way to go. So getting multiple offers, and then what to negotiate on is very important to speak with your realtor about. How can I ensure the best price and terms? So the best way to do that is to price your home at market value or just slightly under market value. You really want to stay competitive with the other homes, with the other comparables in your area. If a home that is as upgraded as yours, that has the same type of amenities as yours, hits the market and it's at a lower price, it is more likely that a home buyer will go and buy that house over your house. So we always have to stay competitive in price. And that just means keeping an eye on what is happening in your neighborhood and in your area and making sure we're spot on with our price. Showings and open houses. So how often will my home need to be shown? So the answer to that will depend on how quickly we get an offer. If the home gets shown on day one and they send us an offer and that offer works for you and it gets you exactly what you want, and we determine that that's the best offer that you're going to get, then you may be done showing on day one. What we typically want to see, or what I want to see as part of my strategies, is I want to see at least two showings per day over the first 14 days that the home is on the market. The first 14 days are crucial to gather feedback and to test the market. Because when we put a home on the market, brand new, when it hits the market, that's when we're expecting to see the most impact and the most success. So in those 14 days is typically when we want to see the most people seeing the home, and we want to see those offers coming in. What can I expect during an open house? So during an open house, you can typically expect to be away from your home for at least 2 hours. Your realtor or your realtor's agent assistant will be there showing potential buyers your home. Sometimes these people are potential buyers. Sometimes they're just nosy neighbors. Open houses over the past couple of years have really decreased in their value to home sellers. because typically most home buyers are wanting to look at the property with their realtor, so they may not necessarily come to an open house to see your home, instead of just scheduling a private appointment with their own realtor. However, if they don't have a realtor or they haven't gotten a realtor yet, they may be more apt to come to an open house just to see the house without having the pressure of their realtor telling them everything, or having to go the pressure of having to go and find a realtor. And how should I prepare my home for home showings? These are important questions, I tell you. Your home, every time that you leave it prior to showing, or if you are showing or having the home shown while you're going to work, your home should be prepared. So that means making the bed, making sure the house is clean, refreshing. Make sure that if someone comes through your home while you're away, your home is ready for it. When your home is being shown, it's typically not being shown by your realtor. It's being shown by a buyer's agent. So the buyer's agent will escort their client through your home and will give them feedback about the home and give them information about the home. But that's typically not me as your listing agent doing that. It's a buyer's agent that's typically going through. So your home should be prepared as though you were wanting it, it should look like you would want to see a home that you were going to go tour. It should be in its best light possible. And the final questions here are about the closing process. So, what happens during the closing process? So, during the closing process, the home buyer who has made an offer, an accepted offer on your home, and you will sit down at the closing table and sign the final paperwork. Basically, this is the home seller, you, signing your rights to the home to the new home buyer, and the home buyer signing their rights to the home and getting all of their legal documents together for finances, and just changing the ownership of the home from you to the new home buyer. And it typically takes about an hour, sometimes two, just depending on the different circumstances. But the home seller has less paperwork that they have to fill out physically than the home buyer. Typically, the home buyer has a big stack of paperwork, especially if they're getting a mortgage on the home. What are my responsibilities before closing? So here in Kentucky, and in Louisville, in our contracts, we have that the home has to be clear of all personal items that are not being left in the home per the contract, and it has to be broom clean. So basically, the home has to be swept through, has to be vacuumed, it has to be ready, move-in ready for the next home buyer. And typically that is done before the buyer's final walkthrough. So before you get to closing, your home should be cleared and it should be ready for the next home buyer to move, or for the new homeowner to move all of their stuff into immediately, unless we have signed something in the contract or we have delayed possession of some kind. And then again, how long does the closing process typically take? Usually takes about an hour to 2 hours, to sign all the paperwork and to transfer responsibility from the homeowner to the new homeowner, the home seller to the home buyer. So I hope these questions have helped you in your process of selling your home. If you have any other questions, which I'm sure you do, please reach out. All of my information is in the description of this video. And my name is David Hittle. I am a realtor with United Real Estate Louisville, and I hope you have an amazing day.